Before I start singing this morning, I'm going to issue a disclaimer. Last night on my gig, I couldn't even sing a note. I have what you might call some kind of laryngitis right now, so my range is extremely limited. So if a tune sounds interesting, it's because I can't sing those notes. So I'm going to call on you to help me sing those notes. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine, 'cause I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, lending a hand. So swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Thank you.
Good morning. Today and every day, we have swung wide the doors to the presence of God, knowing that Spirit is in this place and in all places and all people. Just as this beautiful autumn sun has awakened us to a new day, the Spirit of God within awakens us to divine glory. And this glory within and around us is everywhere we look and in every situation we encounter. With our hearts centered in Spirit, we can quiet our thoughts and meditate on the wonder of all of God's creation and our oneness with it. So I invite you now to take a deep breath, become comfortable, and gently release any cares of the day. Because your sole purpose at this moment is to experience the divine. And you begin to do so now as you relax in the sacred time and space at Unity Spiritual Center. Seeing through eyes of oneness, acknowledging our oneness, we at Unity Spiritual Center celebrate and honor people of every culture, of every creed, of every religion, of every race, of every age, and every lifestyle, knowing that there are many paths to God, many faces of God, many names for God, but only one God. And that God is expressing through all people in unique, special, and individual ways. As you look at the flame of the candle that we light every Sunday, remember that you too have a divine flame within, that you yourself are an individualized expression of God. We honor the one presence and power of God with Unity's foundation statement, which you'll find on the screen behind me. And I invite you to join me in saying it aloud together.
Luca, you'll need to advance pretty far down the line. Keep going. Oh, till you see the next saying. Keep going.
We have a brand new AV person helping us out today.
Keep going, Luca. And I can come help you if we need it, which we might. So it's sticking. Keep going further.
All right. We'll get it up there. So I'll say it first, and then we'll have the words up. There we go. Please join me in saying this aloud together. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotent. We give thanks for our spiritual community and for the beauty of our spiritual center. We give thanks that Unity Spiritual Center is a welcoming, warm, and inclusive community dedicated to studying and putting into practice empowering tools and principles for happiness, health, prosperity, and successful living. We give thanks that with our spiritual teachings, we can create extraordinary lives and a peaceful planet through our relationship with the loving God presence within each one of us and through our relationships with one another. Our vision and the opportunity for each one of us here is that you discover the power within you to create the life of your dreams, that you have peace of mind and deep happiness, that you enjoy joyous and loving relationships with yourself, with spirit, and with others, that you spend your days doing what you love and feel called to do. And most of all, that you know that your life matters, that you make a difference, and that the world is a better place because you're here. If you're visiting us for the first time, and I know a couple of you are, we give out gifts which you both received, a shell lei that has a tag on it that says, just as God has a design for every shell in the sea, God also has a design for your life. We also pass out information about Unity in general and Unity Spiritual Center in particular. And as I mentioned when you walked in the door, we have tables in the back because we know that they can convey a sense of hospitality when we gather around a table. Today they're covered with lots of wonderful hats, jewelry, and handbags, one of which was bought by our friend Michael Hatfield. It's our annual fundraiser, and we hope you'll take a look following the service, as well as join us in the next room following the service for our hospitality. We'd love to get to know you better. And if you or if anyone here would ever like to talk about Unity, if you have any questions or just would like to check in, please know that I'm always happy to have those conversations, and my contact information is printed on the back of the newsletter, also available on our website. So this time, as we move into the meditative portion of our service and prepare to raise our voices together in song, please do turn off or mute any electronic devices or your cell phone, and let us sing together. Michael, is this a standard?
This is a standard, and I need you guys. I needed desperate help, and Ron's going to come up and play some drums. I'm actually going to change the key so I can actually fit this into my limited range. Thank you, Ken. I need all the racket I can get up here. This is a well-known Unity song, so if you could please rise, we're going to sing I Release. And Luca will find the lyrics. He'll just keep going until he sees the words I release. Lucas, see, advance it. See if we can find them. Keep going. We're going to find those lyrics. They've got to be there somewhere. Keep going. That's it. We're in. Are we ready? Let me get you a little intro and off we go. 2, 3, 4. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. You guys sing it. I release and I let go. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only, okay, all together, let's release and I let go. I let that Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. And thank you for indulging me in the key of D minor. Thank you, Ken. Those are all 5 of my notes right there.
So as we continue to relax and get comfortable in our seats, moving even more deeply into this time of worship, prayer, and meditation, let us open our hearts now to receive the message of today's daily word. The topic for today is home blessing. Is there anyone who would like to read the daily word on home blessing? Kathy. Today's daily word will be read by our board president, Kathleen Russell.
Home blessing. I am at home wherever I am. Poet Robert Frost wrote, "Home is the place where, when you have to go there, they have to take you in. Only the indwelling presence of Spirit offers me that dimension of comfort and security." The importance of home is a constant throughout the ministry of Jesus. Followers who had been healed in his presence were often advised to return to their homes, so the healing could extend into their human challenges. In the consciousness of my spiritual home, I extend warm acceptance and a sense of homecoming to everyone with whom I interact, no matter where in the world we may be. I appreciate the blessings in my life and the opportunity to bless others. I am at home wherever I am. And the scripture is, "Go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you," from Mark 5:19.
Thank you, Kathy. Unity Spiritual Center is a center of prayer and healing. We have our prayer box up here on the altar, and I just ask you now to hold the prayer requests that are in that box in your hearts. And just know with me that perfect divine love and perfect divine order is taking place for all concerned. The prayer requests that are placed in this box are prayed on by me and our USC prayer team for 30 days, and then we forward them to Silent Unity, where they're prayed on for an additional 30 days. We have prayer requests in the back of the church on the table. They're printed on green paper, and you're always invited to fill out a prayer request form and place it in the box. But we also have a time in our service where we make our prayers audible. And this is the time now to offer your prayer needs to your spiritual family here so that we can support you and stand with you. So after we sing the introduction to this song, which is a call and response, you are invited to speak your prayer aloud, and we will answer each prayer request by singing "Your Prayer is My Prayer Too."
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me, I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. 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 Your prayer is my
also want to share our gratitudes. So we have put a place in our service where we can do that, where we can just share what we're thankful for, what we're grateful for, what's going right in our lives. So please share those with your community too, if you feel called to.
I'm grateful for my wife, Valerie, who's not here, but sick as a dog. She drove some lighting system to Napa yesterday in an emergency delivery. So I'm very happy about that. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We give thanks for this opportunity to bless and to be blessed in spirit. We give thanks for the feelings of connection, of peace and warmth that fill our hearts and minds right now. We give thanks for the privilege of praying for others in our community, in our nation, and around the world. And we affirm that always and in all ways, no matter what the appearances might be, divine love and divine order is everywhere present. At Unity Spiritual Center, your prayer is our prayer too. Amen.
Before I start this next song, Wish Me Luck, I'm going to attempt to hit a C. I will be lucky. If you hear me change keys midstream, there's a reason. What's your hurry in this fury? God is holding you now. Untie the knot in what I am caught in. God is holding me now. Relax my hands and rest my eyes. Take a deep breath and realize that I can do this. I'll get through this. God is holding me now. In this moment, I'll step aside. I will let go and let God provide. Find my center, let love enter. God is holding me now. God is holding God is holding me now. That's all I got.
To the mic now. And I just want to welcome you again to Unity Spiritual Center. As many of you know, if maybe all of you know, yesterday was Veterans Day. And so before I do anything, I do want to acknowledge and honor the men and women who have given service to our country in that way. So would everyone who is a veteran please stand up so we can honor you? Fantastic. Thank you so much for your service. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we thank you. So, we are going to be talking about release today. Release. Last week, Jerry talked about letting go and letting God, and today we're going to do a more in-depth meditation around what it is that we might need to release. Now, if you've been here before, you know that we've been looking at the 12 powers this year. Each month of this year, we have looked at a different power. And the power for November is elimination, release. It's called different things. Actually, if you go back to the original writings, Charles Fillmore called it renunciation, which is a very, unusual word. We don't hear it often, but it's interesting. I looked up the root word of renunciation. It comes from the Latin, and the root is declaration, making a declaration. So it's kind of a nice thing to keep in mind as we, go into this month looking at release and elimination, that renunciation, the word Fillmore used, means declaration, because it's kind of like implying that we declare we're going to let go of something. We're taking a stand for something we no longer want to do so that we can bring more fullness into our lives. And of course, the whole reason why we've spent time this year looking at the 12 powers is because Fillmore taught that the more we can develop these innate powers, which we all have, and the more we can explore working with them in tandem, then the more we can express the Christ within us, the more we can be all of who we were meant to be. And I think it's kind of nice to be looking at elimination and release in the fall season. I'm sure like me, you've noticed the air just seems a little bit different. It's a little crisper, a little chillier. We start to see the leaves letting go. And it's a wonderful season to be thinking about this idea of, what do I want to let go in my life? What do I want to eliminate as I start to think ahead to 2018, which is just on our horizon? Now, it's interesting because a lot of times people just focus on the manifesting part, the creating part, and they forget about the elimination and releasing part. It happens often in a prayer form that Unity teaches, affirmative prayer, sort of along the way. It always used to be about denials and affirmations. And with time, a lot of people have sort of forgotten the denials part of it, and they've just gone straight to the affirmations. And that's okay, but there was a reason why denials were part of the prayer process. And that was that you were starting by denying that something had power over you, so that you could sort of clear the space to then affirm what it was that you did want to create. And this idea of elimination and release, renunciation, is the same idea, that first we want to clear the decks. And I think a really helpful example of what we're talking about here is imagining a sink. So imagine a sink, and that sink's kind of like your mind or your life. which usually is full of everything, but the kitchen sink, right? So imagine the sink, and imagine that it's stopped up and full of the dirty water that you used to clean your dishes 3 weeks ago. Or 3 years. Yeah, it's gross, isn't it? It's really gross. I think that's such a wonderful example for what we're talking about here, because you would no more think about putting your dishes into that dirty water than you just wouldn't, right? You just wouldn't think about putting your dirty dishes into that dirty water. You would want to have clean, fresh water in order to make your plates clean and fresh. So what we need to do, like with that sink, is we need to drain the water. We need to drain the old. We need to get rid of the greasy, yucky things so that we can then clean out the sink and fill it up with fresh, sparkling, clean water. Doesn't that just feel better, just, painting that picture? Yeah. So that's the idea behind elimination and release, is that we want to clean out the old so that we have a wonderful new canvas to paint what it is that we want to create. And very similar to that wonderful passage in Scripture about you don't want to put new wine in old wineskins, right? It's the same kind of thing. So Fillmore said, and Fillmore could be very dense, but here's a pretty clear statement that he wrote when talking about this. He said, a healthy state of mind is attained and continued when the thinker willingly lets go of the old thoughts and takes on the new. Because living old thoughts over and over keeps the inlet of the new thoughts closed. Kind of interesting, isn't it, that he also used that example of water. That the inlet of the new is closed if we're thinking the old thoughts over and over and over again. And you know what I'm talking about, right? Every single one of us here most likely has some kind of loop of the negative that we can return to when we're under stress or, just having a bad day. It's that train of negative thoughts, like, I shouldn't have done that, or hopefully nobody's labeling themselves stupid, but it often happens. I was so stupid. That was so stupid. Or, whatever it is that happens to loop in your mind, that's the old. That's the thought pattern that needs to be arrested, that needs to be eliminated and released before we can, create anything new. And it's a practice. It's something that gets better with time the more we practice it. And the goal, of course, is to get to the place where we remember, like with this candle that we light every Sunday, that we are divine, that we have a divine flame within, that the divine within in us should never be labeled anything negative, that this is who we are, this is the truth of who we are. So that's what we're trying to do with the elimination and release process. So I'm going to take you through a longer meditation just so we can begin that exploration, because it may not just be thoughts that we need to release. It may be a relationship, or it might be a job. It might be a habit, even an addiction. But chances are there's something in our lives that we keep butting up against, that's keeping us from being all of who we are. And I had an interesting conversation with a friend this week, and she used this word that just really got my attention. And she was talking about what would it take to up-level your life. She used that word up-level, and I was intrigued by that. Now, you all kind of know what she meant by that, right? Up-leveling. But it's an interesting thing to think about. It's an interesting thing to consider. In order to up-level our lives, in order to up-level who we show up as, what is it that we might need to release? What is it that we might need to eliminate from our lives? What is it that we need to renunciate? I guess that's the verb form, right, of renunciation. What is it that we need to declare that we're not going to do any longer? So I want to do the guided meditation right now so you can begin thinking about these questions on a deeper level. So Shirley, if you'll turn down the lights, and Luca, I'm going to switch to the podium mic here. So I've kind of whetted your appetite, hopefully, for taking a moment just to do a little self-reflection, to see what it is in your life that needs to be released. And I invite you now, in the safety of this beautiful outer sanctuary, just to relax into your seat and feel that seat back holding you, just as you are always held by the divine. And in this safe space, in this beautiful space, I want to invite you to imagine a violet flame in front of you. This violet is the color of transmutation. And if you don't see it, then maybe just feel it or sense it as an energy or a vibration. But imagine something violet in your safe space. And know that that violet flame, that violet energy, will help you to release and eliminate or transmute anything in your thoughts, in your feelings, in your memories, even in your physical body. So first, ask yourself, what needs to be released in my life right now? What is no longer essential? What is no longer healthy? What is no longer nourishing or life-enhancing? And whatever it is, when it comes to consciousness, just imagine releasing it into that violet flame of light, so that it can be consumed and transmuted. And maybe it is a bad habit or an addiction. Maybe it's some condition at work. Perhaps it's a relationship or some pain from the past that can now be released. Whatever it is, you can release it. So again, what needs to be released in my life right now? What is no longer essential, healthy, nourishing, life-enhancing? Needs to go in order that I may up-level, to use that interesting word. What do I need to let go of in order to up-level, to be more of who I am, to be more fully who I am? These questions hold clues for you as to what you need to release. And there are probably things there that you want to come back to revisit, to see how you can better eliminate or release them from your life. And now, having a better sense of what that is, I invite you to think about our spiritual community here. Is there something here that needs to be released or eliminated? Is there something here that is no longer essential or nourishing? Another way to look at this question is there something that needs to be released here at USC in order for USC to up-level? What do we need to do as a community to up-level? We give thanks for this time of meditation together, to reflect on our personal lives and on our community, to have just a few moments to return to Source for guidance. And knowing that you can return to your peaceful inner sanctuary at any time, that you can always revisit these questions at any time. Begin now to return to our outer sanctuary, perhaps taking a few slow, deep breaths, moving your fingers or your feet. And when you're ready, coming back to waking consciousness and opening your eyes. So did everybody get a handout when they came in? A sheet of paper with the questions on them? If not, if you need one, do you want to just raise your hand? Looks like Ron didn't get one. And Joan didn't get one. You've got it? Okay. So just Ron. Thank you, Shirley. So I wrote them down on a piece of paper just so you could take some notes, just so you could just be with whatever came up. And I want to give you just a minute or two to do that now, just to jot down whatever it is that came up for you that you might want to hold on to. So while some people are taking notes, does anybody want to talk about or share what came up for them? Was it clear in the meditation? Did you have a clear response to the question? What do I need to release? See a couple nodding heads. Anybody struggle with it a little bit? Was it maybe not so clear for some people? So this is our discussion Sunday.
I'll open that one.
Please go. Please discuss.
So I'm listening to the meditation while playing, and you think of what I think of what makes up all the parts of my life right now, and I go, what do I need to jettison? And then there's this huge fear of if I jettison this, what's going to fill that space? That's what freaks me out.
That is awesome, Michael, and thank you. He was not a plant. I did not ask him to do that. But it's such a great point, right? Often that's the case, isn't it? Because we hold on to stuff because we're used to it, because it's kind of comfy, right? It's like the old robe or whatever, the old slippers.
Don't talk to my wife.
Oh, okay, there's an old robe in your...
I've had the same robe that my Miles is turning 28. I've had it for 30 years. Wow. I only wear it at Christmas. So every Christmas video has the same robe and it's falling apart, but I still got to have the robe.
Yeah. Yeah, so we hold on to stuff, right? Ken, what's on your mind?
I would like to see us bring in some music that kind of makes us feel spiritual more than we do feel now. Not necessarily anything like a choir from school or some kind of club choir come in every so often and give us an uplift and make us spiritual sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just decide, let's 6 of us get together and do something.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
We need more.
We need more people. Yeah.
We need more, Ken. There's only one of you. We need more of you.
Yeah. So it's a great idea, and you're going to the question about what can we do, what can we as a community. So I just want to say, all great ideas like the one Ken just had. If you can tear your piece of paper and just leave it in the back when you go, that way we can take a look at it and we can start to put some of those great ideas to work. So if there's something personal you want to share, you hold on to that piece, but give us your ideas for our community. Thanks, Ken. I totally agree with you. And I've thought about that too. You know, well, here's one idea too. Like from here, from where I stand, I see like 3 rows that are more or less empty and everybody is seated in the back. So I'm sitting here thinking, boy, just to feel more together, just to feel like there's, we need to either remove some of these chairs or really encourage people to sit up front because literally, like I said, there's like the second half of this room is full and the first half isn't. So
well, I got it. We're going to install electroshock chairs in the back. She just pushes a button and everybody goes, "Whoa, I think I need a new seat."
Okay, any other ideas than electroshock buttons? Yeah, Ethel. In your personal life? Yeah. Other people had the same. Interesting. And other people, you had that experience too, Elisa? Yeah. It's really, and hold on one second, Annette, and I'll get back to you. It's really an interesting exercise because isn't it true that so often we're focused on the create, I want to do this, do this, do this, that we forget that we need to eliminate too, that's part of the process. And it actually can be a very important part of the process for the reason Michael mentioned is that when we do release, we do have that feeling of a vacuum, right? But it doesn't mean that something bad's going to replace it. It could mean that something even more incredible is going to replace it, and we up-level, to use that word. What were you going to say, Annette? Wow. And so I think that it was a really cool kind of fundraising event. I think we did that really great. Like a dinner, a fundraising event. We got really great. It's called a paddle. Fantastic. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, so we'll definitely want to get back to you. $8,500 in 10 minutes. I'll go for it. That sounds really good to me. Yeah. So wonderful, Annette. Thanks. Yeah, we'll want to hear those ideas for sure. Anything else about releasing? Anything else come up? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to share something you need to release, but any thoughts around that? Why that's an important thing to do? Yeah, Mary Ellen. Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I love, again, I just love that idea of declaration being a synonym for renunciation, that we're declaring that we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to let this go. We're going to release this. Lisa, go.
I think that releasing or declarations or anything like that takes an incredible amount of faith in God, in the universe, or whatever you
Yeah,
put that the universe is going to take care of, that God's going to take care of you.
right.
When you, especially when you're trying to release in a situation or a world or a relationship that is, not so great.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. It's one of the hardest things about it, isn't it? It's like we hold on, until our knuckles are white because at least we know what it is. At least we have something, right? And it's hard to believe or to trust that if we let go, something even better could come into our lives. So I totally agree, and I thank you for bringing that forward. Yeah, the trust, the faith. It's like that wonderful aphorism. Take the leap and the net will appear. We don't believe that net is necessarily going to be there, right? And we're just looking down at that chasm. Yeah. Anything else that anybody wants to say about this? Are your wheels turning? Are you starting to think about what it is that you might need to release, eliminate? Yeah. Well, wonderful. Yeah, Annette.
I've been doing that for the past hour.
You've been doing great, by the way. You've been singing and that net appeared. So. But that's true, Annette, that we kind of feel like before we can let go, we have to make the other thing perfect. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it's true. And sometimes we have to let go and we don't even know what that other thing's going to be. So how can we even perfect it? But yeah, there's something in there about trust, about faith, about letting go and surrendering, that we are a divine being, that our highest and best will unfold, and all we have to do is cooperate with Source, and amazing things can happen. So we are going to talk more about this next week. I will do a more in-depth look at what release could mean for us in different aspects of our life. But we've started this thing called Discussion Sundays. They're always on the second Sunday of the month. Just great to be able to have your input. And I want to thank all of you for contributing to this exercise. And may we all let go and let God. May we all release all that is in our way of fully expressing who we are. And so it is. Amen. So, unity, as Ken said, I really appreciated your testimonial, Ken. Unity is a wonderful set of teachings and a wonderful place that can put the right spin on our lives, that can do so much to change our lives. We offer practical, progressive, positive spiritual teachings and tools that honor the universal truth in all religions, and that respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. And here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. And I invite you in joining me in saying them aloud together. So we'll need you to scroll, Luca, to Our Vision Is.
We'll find it. Advance it again, Luca, with the arrow key until we get past that. Yeah, they keep going until we get to the next writing. Keep going. We're almost there. I can feel it. Keep going.
There
Yes,
we go.
we've got it.
And I just want to say, Luca was so kind to step in. We had 2 other people who couldn't make it today. And so Luca at the last minute stepped in. So we really appreciate your being on the job. Thank you so much. So let's say this together. Our vision is centered in God. We co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity. And in these last 2 months of the year, we are starting a new thing. We have asked all of our board members to give a testimonial in the month of November. And then I'm hoping you will be inspired to give your own testimonial sometime in December. But right now, we are going to bring up our board president, Kathleen Russell, to tell you a little bit about her experience with Unity and how tithing her time, talent, and treasure has been meaningful to her. So Kathy, if you'll come up now.
Well, giving a testimonial kind of sounds like, wow, oh my gosh. And but, I looked up that word, as Reverend Maggie also likes to look up word roots. And it says to attest to the truth of the matter and a statement that is something that is true. So it's really not so awesome. But last Sunday, Marcy Guzman spoke her truth about gratitude and giving. And the more she gives, the more she receives, and she's grateful for these blessings. And that's her truth. And I can attest to that as a truth for me as well. And I thank her for expressing it so eloquently. But I would also like to add my own perspective on that. So this morning, not right here, but when I was at home, I read the Daily Word. And that home blessing just kind of really struck me. I am at home wherever I am. So it kind of got me to thinking that Unity is really my Sunday home. When I first started to come, I didn't quite plan on becoming a member or to consider, coming as long as I have been. But I feel welcome here. I feel really comfortable. And most importantly, coming to Unity makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy and at ease. When I came here in 2011, it was after some tough personal times, and I hadn't been in any kind of church since I was 17. So I felt the warmth and the goodness of spirit here, and I kept coming back. Eventually, I did become a member, and just like in a home, I took on responsibilities that never seemed to be a real burden, like as some household chores can be. So I participated. That participation just made those connections stronger for me. And where else can I get a job where I can say, glad to see you, and give somebody a hug that I hardly know, except at Unity as a greeter right here. Working in the bookstore allowed me to, help other people. And I also had opportunities to explore a variety of sources of information that helped my spirituality. So I got first choice there. So I kept coming back for the wonderful Sunday lessons from Reverend Maggie that always kind of helped me think a little bit differently, just have a little slightly different perspective on things, and to feel more deeply and a little bit differently on certain lines. I kept coming for the guest speakers and the wonderful music that we have, and events like Karen Drucker, the spiritual ceremonies that we had the seasonal ceremonies that we had last year were really phenomenal. And eventually I just stopped feeling like I was coming back, but I just came. So later, I accepted the role of board president, and what an honor and a chance to be a part of all the changes within Unity over the years. My favorite was participating in our gala event of our 70th anniversary last year, and it was amazingly fun, and it was like planning a big family gathering, as I'm anticipating Thanksgiving myself, with all the wonderful and giving volunteers that got together and make that event a real success and a lot of fun. So to sum it up, what is true for me is that Unity is my Sunday home, and it's a blessing for me to be here and to be a part of this Unity household.
Thank you so much, Kathy, and thank you for all you do. As part of our spiritual teachings, we do practice the principle of tithing ourselves. And as a spiritual community, we are pleased to tithe 10% of the offering collected today to Habitat for Humanity and to the Association of Unity Churches, now called Unity Worldwide Ministries. So let us take a moment now to bless our tithes and love offerings. Hold them in our hands or perhaps place them next to our hearts as we say our offertory prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
I know you know the words to this song, and I know you know how to sing it. So I need you to sing it pretty loud. I'm going to attempt to sing a D, which earlier it was a C, so that gives you a clue. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they be parted, still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. And let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Sing it again. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. All together, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. One more time. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper word an answer, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Thank you. That's all I got. give thanks for the many blessings that are in our church this very moment. We open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that are ours to choose. We are filled with a mighty faith that empowers and frees us to live our divine purpose and serve our community with excellence. And so it is. Amen.
And I have lots of exciting announcements to make. Did I turn this back on? We are heading into this month with all kinds of stuff happening. Golly, now I can't find them, and I had them right here. Yeah, thank you. I know I will. I can remember them by. All right, that's just not going to happen. I have it right here. So I would really love it if the strong amongst you could help to stack chairs against the walls right after the service. We are having our annual Thanksgiving potluck next week. So we are going to need to put tables up for our feast next week. So if you wouldn't mind just staying behind a little bit to move tables, that would be great. There's a sign-up sheet in the Fillmore room to bring something, to bring a dish to share. So if you haven't signed up already, there's still time. It's a really nice thing to be together with people for a meal following our service. So that will be next week, and everyone, of course, is invited. As you'll also see this week and also next week, these tables in the very back are full of all kinds of amazing offerings. It's our annual jewelry, scarf, and handbag fundraiser. Abby, our wheeler dealer extraordinaire, has been hard at work placing things and pricing them. It's an opportunity for you to get a good deal, to start your Christmas shopping early, possibly to buy a treat for yourself. So please do stop by, see what's on the tables, and get a good deal and do good for USC as well. We are having our creative salon on Saturday, this coming Saturday, and the teacher is Carrie Lee. Carrie's paintings just went up on display. She's another one of Shiloh McLeod's students, and she's got a really fun activity for us on Saturday. We are going to be doing a ritual about release, and then we're going to be making these beautiful affirmations. And they're actually, it's a two-part thing where it's a stake. So if you feel called to, you can leave your stake in our garden, in our Unity Garden, or you can also take it home with you. But this is going to be a really fun, creative activity, a wonderful, meaningful ritual. We charge $75 and all materials are included, but if price is a factor, there are a couple work scholarships. So do not let price get in the way of attending this wonderful creative salon next Saturday. The following Sunday, we are going to have a membership class. I know Judy is going to take it, and we've got another couple who's interested in taking it, and possibly another couple who's interested in taking it. So the doors are open right now to become a member of USC. If you've been thinking about it for a while, there's a yellow brochure in the lobby. Just fill out the application and plan on being here following the service on November 26th. Let's see if that's everything. Everything except our big fundraiser, our big end of year fundraiser. Some of you know already, some of you don't, that our roof is in need of repair. And when we were getting estimates for it, they were ranging, in the $40,000 mark. We had a wonderful couple in our congregation find a qualified roofer to do it for only $25,000. If that wasn't enough, each one of them, and I'm talking about Ron Willis and his partner Q Chrisman, are donating $10,000 toward our roofing job. So right there, round of applause. So as a congregation, we're trying to raise the additional $10,000. We can do that. We have incredible models of generosity to follow, but we need to raise the balance for the roofing job. There's also a gutter job that needs doing. That's like $4,000. And of course, at some point, we would like to paint the outside. So please, please, please help that little red thermometer go up by helping us to raise the additional $10,000 that's needed to finish the job for our wonderful building. Kathy. Yeah, thanks so much. So that's perfect. So if you write a check, just note in the memo section of your check that it's foundations. We're calling it our Foundations for the Future Fund Drive. So just put foundations in the memo section of your check. If you want to donate online, which you can, there are 2 different ways to do that. You can go through our regular PayPal donation portal, and then you can have write notes, and you can say foundations. We also have a new thing. It's kind of cool. It's an online thermometer. Nobody's made an online donation yet, so it's still at $0. But if you go to our homepage, you can donate by credit card through our homepage as well. But we really pray that you will just demonstrate the same kind of generosity that we're seeing demonstrated to us, because it's so touching. And I think that's everything that we've got going on. Lots to do. And let's see what the kids have been up to.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we made some gratitude books with the kids, and it was from scratch. So they built the front cover and the back cover, and inside there's special pages that the kids colored and decorated. And let's see, why don't you pick one out? So we'll start with you. So you know you guys can throw. You want to share just that one? Okay, sure.
One of my pages in my book is this one.
A turkey. Draw something that makes you happy. And you drew a rainbow. Draw something you're thankful for. A bee and a sea turtle, and it says perseverance. Kate with collage chairs, and she put pictures of food. And she's thankful for that.
And that's our activity for today. And we are grateful for you, for the children's church teachers, for the children. Bless them. Keep starting good things. We love
Of you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the presence of God in you, empowering you to do great things. Let there be peace on earth, and let it be. Let there be peace on earth, meant to be with God. God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Thank you, God. Okay. Have to sing tonight at the Olympic Club.